I'm Christy Sistrunk and I'm playing Cecilia Page.
No, I'm Ian Toyne and I'm playing Edwin Page.
My name's Anna Brockway, so the role I'm playing is Daphne, who is a friend of Cecilia and Edwin.
It's a synthesis of two short stories, A Woman in a Lampshade and The Sugar Mother. It's funny.
Yeah, it is funny. It's comedy. People who've read Elizabeth Jolley will be interested.
This story is Australian, not so much necessarily here. It's slightly surreal.
It's got her English sensibility in there, which is that sort of eccentric thing. But she's really looking at the odd behaviour of academics in a large way, isn't she?
Yeah.
And then, mixed in with that a cultural clash between the academic world and the working class world. So it's all operating on several levels.
And basically, it's about relationships between people and searching for connection with other people. And I think that's what, well, for me, that's what I feel that the play sort of resounds, ideas of love and friendship and companionship and all of the things that go around with that. So.
And it's a bit like mother and son. When you there's the comedy is there, so you're laughing at that. But underneath it all, you've got a sort of a poignancy the woman has in Mother and Son has, dementia, and she also exploits that. So there's a bit of deviousness. In these characters, there's poignancy and sort of dark sides that you think, what have I just been laughing at?
Yeah, there are some really funny characters in the play, aren't there? Yeah,
Yeah, Daphne's quite interesting. She lives in a boarding school. She's a boarding house. She lives in the boarding house, which is what she did as a child. And it seems like she's never really left the boarding house, never really grown up, in a sense.
I suspect with my character, Cecilia, I sort of think from what I've read and heard about Elizabeth Jolley, I feel that there is quite, perhaps I might be a little bit kind of a reflection of her own sort of process or personality also.
Yeah, you're completely nuts.
Yeah. Well, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very eccentric, my character.
Oh, mine. There's a poignancy. He's an older guy who they haven't had kids, and more than anything, he wanted kids. And it's that thing about regret, I suppose. It's made me think a lot about, and thank God I've got kids, that I've actually sort of experienced that, because I think I'd feel miserable without them. But yeah, and the whole thing about people who are so involved with books, that kind of detached thing they get from life. Do you know what I mean? Just sort of skirt above reality half the time.
John's right of the script, adaptation of it, is he's adapted it so that I think when you adapt something, it has its own life regardless. It's always going to be influenced by rather than a replica. I think it's impossible to have, and not necessarily a great thing to have a replica. So it sort of has another life again.
John has done a really great adaptation because he has really kept to, I know that with Woman in the Lampshade and The Sugar Mother, I think he's kept really true to the text. So I don't think that he has actually embellished a lot on it, but what he has done is taken the two and put them on stage at a time where the characters converge, which they didn't in the two separate stories, but they do actually fit together. And so these two stories become one. So he has actually kept to her words, which is why I think it makes it easier.
It does, and I think because he's interwoven a bit of Shakespeare in there, and to me, what he's done is he's got a good musical ear. He's picked up on the rhythms she's got in there, which is leading him to the Shakespeare. So, yeah, it's odd. I was really surprised about how quickly this is going in. Thank God.
Comedy and tragedy are of the same realm, and so something can't be funny unless the stakes are high. Often, if someone thinks that they're so good at something, but they do it terribly. But that contradiction creates a humour. So in a way, you have to have even more truth involved in what you believe in, and it's a ridiculous truth often. It happens all around us all the time anyway, you know, if you really listen to what people say, including myself. So, yeah, and it's a joy to be able to play a comedy, to have that opportunity. I love that opportunity to play a comedy, and this role is, if you can justify so much silly things you do based on what the story's already given you, because you can only go as much as what the lines give you is where you can go. So yeah, it's a joy playing a comic role. It's good fun.
I've yet to see you in your lampshade, which is going to be, you know, how the hell do I cope with that?
Yes, people want to come to see certain household item that I wear as a fashion statement. So I imagine all the kids from TAFE are going to come and try. You know, next will be on the catwalks. You know,
Already
Milan.
Lady Gaga's beating you to it.
Oh gosh, is she all right?